been a rough few weeks for Elon Musk, with Tesla stock prices plummeting and dealerships being vandalized.
Imagine you're driving a car that promises the future. A vehicle that sees the road, thinks ahead, and practically drives itself. Now imagine that promise falling apart, not quietly, but in a blaze of leaked documents, public outcry, and CEO denial. That's exactly what happened in 2025, when Tesla found itself at the center of a digital earthquake. A massive trove of internal data spilled into the hands of global journalists, revealing chilling flaws in Tesla's autopilot system. This wasn't just a crack in the armor, it was a gaping wound. Let's uncover what went wrong, how Elon Musk responded, and why the world may never look at self-driving cars the same way again. The data dump heard around the world. It all began with a flash drive, over 100 gigabytes of Tesla's most sensitive files, crash reports, internal emails, customer complaints, landed in the inbox of a German news outlet. The leak wasn't just large, it was damning. Thousands of drivers had reported problems, brakes slamming without warning, steering jerking off course, cars accelerating with a mind of their own. However, many of these complaints had never been made public. Instead, internal emails show Tesla engineers raising red flags again and again, only to be ignored. Worse still, some documents suggest numbers may have been massaged before reaching regulators. The message from the top? Keep the optics clean, no matter what. Autopilot. Promise versus reality. Tesla's autopilot was supposed to be the crown jewel, a semi-autonomous system that could revolutionize driving. And on paper it did. But the leaked files tell another story. Autopilot struggled with basic tasks, reading road signs, spotting stopped emergency vehicles, reacting to bad weather. In one internal simulation, it failed to navigate an urban environment without multiple safety violations. Even more alarming was evidence of geographic bias. The system reportedly underperformed in rural and low-income areas, places with unusual signage or complicated road layouts. If true, that's not just a software issue, it's a question of equality. Are some drivers being left behind by design? Elon Musk's reaction: defiance or denial? Elon Musk's response has been characteristically bold, but worryingly vague. In a series of social media posts, he dismissed the leaked documents as cherry-picked and sensationalized by mainstream media. However, his failure to directly address some of the most damaging revelations has fueled further criticism. Internally, Tesla has activated crisis protocols, issuing legal notices to media outlets, and threatening litigation against anyone found responsible for the breach. Musk's apparent panic is not without reason. Tesla's market value dropped by nearly 10% within 48 hours of the leak going public. A staggering blow to a company whose valuation heavily depends on public perception and future potential, rather than present-day profit margins. Institutional investors are reportedly demanding an independent investigation, and Tesla's board is under mounting pressure to respond more transparently. Adding to the chaos, whistleblower protection organizations have stepped in, offering legal support to insiders willing to corroborate the documents. Tesla now faces the dual pressure of public outrage and potential internal dissent. The legal and regulatory aftershocks. Governmental bodies in the US, European Union, and Asia have launched formal inquiries into Tesla's handling of safety data. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has reopened several past investigations and is considering new mandates for how autonomous driving incidents must be reported. In Germany, regulators have already demanded a temporary suspension of certain autopilot features pending further review. Class action lawsuits are emerging in multiple jurisdictions. Former Tesla engineers have begun to speak out, corroborating some of the claims made in the leaked documents. These testimonies could be critical in determining whether the company knowingly endangered its users, or merely underestimated the complexity of real-world autonomous driving. Additionally, US lawmakers are discussing the possibility of federal legislation specific to AI-powered vehicles. There are renewed calls to create a centralized database of autonomous vehicle incidents, enforce third-party audits of safety features, and demand full algorithmic transparency. Cultural impact and media fallout. Beyond legal implications, the leak has sparked widespread public debate about the ethics of innovation and the responsibilities of tech companies. Media outlets around the world are running deep dive segments, and hashtags like #TeslaTruth and #AutopilotLeaks are trending across social platforms. Consumer advocacy groups are calling for stricter regulations, demanding not just accountability from Tesla, but systemic reform in how self-driving technologies are approved and monitored. This cultural reckoning may significantly influence consumer behavior. Surveys show a drop in public trust in Tesla's technology, particularly among first-time buyers. Other automakers are seizing the opportunity to differentiate themselves, emphasizing safety-first narratives in their own marketing campaigns. The incident is already inspiring documentaries, books, and panel discussions. Former Tesla fans and influencers have started to publicly distance themselves from the brand, reflecting a broader identity crisis within the electric vehicle community. Economic impacts of the Tesla data leak. The economic fallout from the Tesla data leak is considerable, both for the company itself and the broader electric vehicle and AI sectors. Tesla's stock plummeted nearly 10% in 2 days, wiping out billions in shareholder value and triggering a wave of sell-offs. Analysts forecast continued volatility as investor confidence in Tesla's leadership and technology wanes. Suppliers and partner firms, ranging from software vendors to battery manufacturers, are also bracing for downstream effects, including tighter regulatory scrutiny and reduced demand. Venture capital and institutional investment in autonomous vehicle startups have slowed in response to the crisis, with funding rounds being reevaluated and valuations slashed. Insurance companies, already hesitant about insuring self-driving vehicles, are reassessing their risk models, which could lead to higher premiums and stricter underwriting guidelines. Consumer purchasing decisions are also being affected. Surveys show a decline in interest in Tesla vehicles and a rise in competitors' sales, especially among safety-conscious buyers. Auto dealerships and resellers report increased trade-in activity for Teslas as consumers look to offload vehicles associated with negative publicity. Globally, markets that have traditionally been strong adopters of Tesla products, such as Europe and East Asia, are witnessing a slowdown in orders. This could impact Tesla's international expansion strategy, putting pressure on its production and delivery targets. The broader tech industry, too, is experiencing a reputational shakeup, prompting other firms to preemptively audit their own safety protocols and data privacy measures. Implications for the future of autonomous driving. The Tesla data leak is more than a corporate crisis. It is a moment of reckoning for the entire self-driving vehicle industry. It underscores the challenges of deploying cutting-edge technology without adequate oversight or ethical foresight. Companies now face the dual challenge of meeting consumer demand for innovation while ensuring their systems are safe, tested, and transparently communicated. Experts predict that regulatory bodies will now demand more rigorous simulation and real-world testing before granting permissions for autonomous systems. Public trust will need to be rebuilt not just by Tesla, but by the industry as a whole. Whether this leads to a technological slowdown or a more responsible innovation curve remains to be seen. There is also renewed focus on open-source alternatives to proprietary autonomous systems, with advocates arguing that transparency can act as a safeguard against manipulation and negligence. Educational institutions and think tanks are beginning to develop new ethical frameworks for human-AI interaction in transportation. Elon Musk and Tesla have long stood at the intersection of ambition and controversy. This latest crisis, fueled by a catastrophic leak of internal data, has exposed the fragile foundation on which much of the company's success has been built. As Tesla navigates the fallout, the broader industry must also confront uncomfortable truths about safety, accountability, and the real human cost of moving too fast. Whether this becomes Tesla's undoing or a turning point for reform will depend on what happens next. In boardrooms, courtrooms, and on the road. The world will be watching not just what Tesla does next, but how the entire autonomous driving ecosystem adapts in the wake of this unprecedented breach. The question is no longer just about innovation, it's about integrity, and whether Silicon Valley can rise to meet its own disruptive promises without compromising the public it claims to serve. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.